We're heading into Portland, Maine right now, and the waters are nice and calm and smooth. And you would never know that just a couple of days ago, our ship was affected by Hurricane Earl and winds that were over 50 miles an hour. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. I'm pretty excited to be getting into Portland, Maine today. We are on board Norwegian Joy, but I did want to kind of let you know what happened a couple of days ago. People have asked, are you affected by the hurricane? So yes, our ship was kind of, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Being honest, there were a few, I would say a little bit uneasy hours. We did obviously get through it, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, including what we did to kind of, well, deal with the motion sickness. There definitely was. So before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. So the cruise that we are on is the Norwegian Joy, and it is a Canada-New England cruise. We're also cruising at, well, the early to mid-September. So of course, we do expect that unfortunately we can be affected by hurricanes, by different tropical storms and that sort of thing. So we had a really smooth start to our cruise. The weather has been actually unseasonably beautiful. You never know what you're going to get when you do go to Canada, New England. Make sure to watch for a packing video. I will share with you what I wore, what I suggest that you consider packing for your cruise. But in any case, we had beautiful weather, and we were in Sydney, Nova Scotia, so that is Cape Breton. And well, the winds really began to pick up that day. When we finally did board the ship, as we were leaving to go out to sea, we noticed that the seas were much rougher than when we were the day before in Charlottetown. Since we're also in a balcony cabin, I was able to look out and see that, wow, those waves were really looking a little bit rough. You could see almost the wind bringing that sea close, those waves close to the ship. And the waves really, while they weren't exceedingly high, there were those white-tipped waves that kind of make you a little bit nervous. Now around that time, so somewhere probably around 6 o'clock, just before dinner time, the captain did get on the intercom and he made an announcement, and he basically just told everybody that even though our ship wasn't going to be directly affected by Hurricane Earl, we obviously were not going into the path of a hurricane, that those winds, well, they were pretty far reaching and they would be affecting our sailing. So we were experiencing over 50-mile-an-hour winds. He did announce that they were employing the ship stabilizers, but to also expect some banging, some rocking, and really some shifting in the ship, and you could definitely feel that movement. Now, since we were heading to dinner, we decided to continue on with our evening. And what we did is we actually, each of us took a bone-in, because we did already feel that movement, and we thought really, oftentimes it is better when you are affected by seasickness to take that medication before the seasickness really kind of takes over. Now, unfortunately, the bone-in didn't completely help because there really was so much movement, especially for my husband. Well, what we did is we did go over to the bar, and he decided to get a little bit of ginger ale. So I will also share with you, along with the story of what happened, I'm going to share with you a few tips in case you're ever caught with this kind of seasickness or rough seas, some of the things that you can do. And these were specifically crew recommendations, and by the way, they did really work. So he got a ginger ale, and at that point the bartender noticed that he wasn't feeling great, and he offered him some nice candied ginger, which my husband did take. Then we headed into the dining room. Frank decided to just have like a chicken noodle soup to really keep it light. And at that point, even though the ginger was helping a little bit, it wasn't exactly perfect. Well, this time the waiter suggested something else, and this was to have a green apple. Now, this green apple came and it was sliced up for him as if it was like an appetizer. So it was really something very nice. And the crew did tell us that this is what they use. Now, while he was eating the green apple, we were feeling a little bit better about things. He said this was actually pretty much helping him. However, just around this time, the captain came to make another announcement. Now, if you've ever been on a cruise before, you know that when there's an announcement by the captain or by even the cruise director, sometimes it's difficult to hear, and really people usually just talk at the same time. But in this case, we could almost hear a pin drop. The room went dead silent. The crew and the cruise passengers were waiting with almost bated breath to know what we were in for that night. Now, I thought at the very least what was going to happen is we probably were going to miss the next day in port. It was going to be Halifax, and we were so looking forward to it. And at worst, we thought we might be in for a very, very rough night, and there were perhaps some instructions. Now, at this point, when the captain did speak, he actually was giving us an update. And to be honest, I really did appreciate this. Now, what he did say is we would be in for a few more hours of these kind of winds, but we were reassured that the ship was sailing through it and we were never in any danger. And as for my husband, well, he did end up having a second green apple, so it was definitely a bit of a light supper for him. But at the end of having his second apple, he proclaimed this apple thing actually works. So much so that after dinner, we were actually able to go over to the theater where we saw an incredibly hilarious magician comedian that I ended up being a little bit unwittingly part of the show.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, number 4.
Now, I will be sharing more about our cruise on the Norwegian Joy, our cabin, packing tips, and of course the Canada-New England itinerary. So all of those videos will be coming out within the next couple of weeks. So please, if you are enjoying this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel. Well, if you don't really want to miss a thing, I highly appreciate it. And please let me know if you've ever been caught in winds or in bad seas like this, and what are the tips and tricks that you have used to really help you to feel better. Now, I'm going to leave a video right after this one all about the things that you'll want to make sure that you do to be completely prepared for a perfect embarkation day on Norwegian Cruise. Bye for now, and happy cruising.